6 o'clock news starts now.
And welcome back to Facts News. At 7 last night, we received shocking reports of a high school student who was discovered to be selling and abusing cannabis and heroin on campus. He was then later identified as a convicted felon from California. Marijuana is cheap, easily available, and the number of users are increasing exponentially. It is the most commonly used illicit drug in the United States, as some states are legalizing this substance. The attitude towards marijuana has significantly changed over the last couple decades. In 1974, 29% perceived marijuana as the most dangerous drug. However, now only 12% believe marijuana to be more dangerous than alcohol. The number of young people who believe regular marijuana use is risky is decreasing. This is especially dangerous because people are using it without caution. We have reporter Caroline Francis live at Adams High School with their leading investigator.
Thank you, Zaina. I'm here with Nusaiba Leila, the head deputy here at Adams High School, who is leading the investigation on Clyde Dawson. Nusaiba, what is the current situation?
The principal contacted us claiming that he has received tips from students at the high school that the 17-year-old named Clyde Dawson was acting very suspicious. My team and I decided to check the situation, and the next day the school had a lockdown and we conducted an investigation. All lockers, classrooms, and backpacks were searched by me and my team and our specially trained dogs. We found illegal substances in Clyde Dawson's locker, and we soon found that marijuana and heroin were being abused all over the school.
Once Dawson was interrogated, the police found out that this was more than just a one-man thing.
I heard a lot of rumors of drugs going around the school, and I finally confirmed the rumors when Dawson tried to sell drugs to me. He tried to convince me of using drugs, stating that it's not harmful. When I declined the offer, though, he went to other students to try to sell it to them as well. Some of my friends took the drugs, and they were never the same.
A background check was done on Dawson, and they found out he was originally from California. He moved here just after he bought marijuana and heroin. These findings are especially dangerous now that marijuana was legalized in California on January 1st, 2018, and that heroin is very addictive.
I was shocked when the police barged into my classroom. Dawson was taken in for an interrogation. They checked my bags, and my students were really confused on what was going on. However, I did see some students were indifferent about the situation since they knew what was happening all along and knew he would be caught someday. I never imagined he would do something like that.
Well, I know Clyde Dawson got caught recently. However, I don't think the situation was that prominent in my perspective. I didn't really care about the whole situation, to be honest.
Excuse me, are you aware of a drug scandal in your school?
Were you aware that a student was selling heroin in the school?
Somebody was selling heroin in the school? That is completely uncalled for. What?
So have you ever been involved with Clyde Dawson?
Yeah, I actually have, and I drugs from him, and I mean, it felt good at the beginning, but later on it was just so bad. I was so f***ed up. It's not good. My parents are really disappointed in me. And my grades might have lowered a little bit by like B's and F's and Z's. So yeah.
I didn't know anything about drugs until I started at school, so I'm pretty surprised that he got caught.
I had no idea that people in our school were doing drugs. It's like, why do you think people go into the stalls in groups?
Oh my gosh, are you serious? What's going on? How did you find out? Tell me everything, I want to know.
I also had the chance to talk to Dawson's older sister, Sarah. She informed me that while Dawson was in California, he was put on probation for using and selling drugs there as well.
I never knew my brother was on probation. He was a very private person. He would be in his room all day and I would never see him. He would leave a couple times a day, but I never thought anything of it. I always thought he would go to his friend's house or something. And once I had graduated from high school, I moved from California to go to Oakland University here in Michigan. My brother, Clyde, was very interested in going to Michigan with me. My mom and dad urged him to go with me so he could escape his past and have a new future and a fresh start. I never believed that the reason he wanted to come here was because of his marijuana and heroin addiction.
I have also just received reports that Dawson was in court today and has been sentenced to 7 years in prison. Being on probation and having illegal drugs in his possession as a minor increased his punishment. I'm Caroline Francis reporting live from Adams High School. Zaina, back to you.
Reports show that the use of illegal drugs has increased throughout the years, since younger people have more access to them. Here I am with medical experts who study substance abuse, talking about the deadly effects of heroin and marijuana.
Every year, I'm seeing more cases of marijuana being used. According to the United Nations, 158.8 million people around the world use marijuana. 242,200 emergency room visits have involved marijuana. This drug can affect more than just your physical health. Studies in Australia have linked years of heavy marijuana use and brain abnormalities. I've seen babies born from marijuana-addicted mothers. The children are born with reduced initiative and lessened abilities to concentrate and pursue life goals. Many of the long-term effects I've seen are things like poor school performance, brain damage, and even non-related health issues, such as financial problems and lower chances of employment.
Heroin is highly addictive. I have had a wide range of patients, no matter their gender, age, and income levels. However, most of my patients range from age 21 through 25. The number of patients increase every year because the illegal substances are more readily and easily available. Heroin use has increased by 63% within 10 years, and an estimated amount of 13.5 billion people take opioids. Heroin and morphine not only affect bodily functions, including breathing problems, respiratory failure, and low blood pressure, but it can negatively affect the brain as well. Heroin is especially dangerous since it is a combination of other chemicals with morphine, and there are 10,000 casualties in 1 year. Abusers are essentially drawn to its use in the promise of pleasure. While the user may feel this pleasure then, these consequences are quite the opposite.
Some say that the reason more and more young people are abusing drugs is because they are easily accessible. Others say that along with accessibility, the lack of education on the harmful effects of drugs play a role. With more than 64,000 deaths nationwide in 2016, we can only hope that young people make the right choices. If you suspect anyone is on the drug or is considering using it, the most important thing you can do is call 911. I'm Zaina Qadri, and this was Facts News.